Chicken meat is about to get more expensive, much more. Live chicken importers are warning of a 15% price hike in the days ahead as Malaysia's export ban on chickens kicks in on the 1st of June. Suppliers are already looking to stockpile fresh cuts ahead of time, along with importing frozen and chilled options to help meet demand. Melissa Goh has more.
Early morning at this market in Chinatown. Wet market sellers and their customers are adjusting to the news.
只有马来西亚休息哦，等他们解决了才来讲哦。
买多一点点，放在冰箱可以耐很久的，吃冷冻咯。如果真的就不需要吃新鲜的。
Over in Sembawang, just across the sea from Malaysia, live chickens are slaughtered and sent to this production plant. This is where tens of thousands of chicken from Malaysia are packaged and processed and then sent to some of your biggest names in online and offline grocers, as well as restaurants and wet markets. These processing grounds are set to get a lot more busy as the firm looks to ramp up supplies in light of the upcoming shortage. The company is applying for permits to import up to 60,000 live chickens a day ahead of 1st June. That's 50% more than the 40,000 now, and would require a second production line and an additional team of 30 workers. But when the ban kicks in about a week, it plans to sell frozen and chilled chicken and hopes customers will bite.
Right now, we're trying to manage close the gap between ourselves and the customer expectation, because they mostly are pretty much on this alert where they want to stockpile the stock, make sure that they have things to sell and they have things like chickens to cook for the F&B and things like that, so they're a bit worried at this point.
Prices, Mr. Sim says, could jump 15% in the coming days. Another importer, Akina Farm, also expects prices to climb due to both rising demand and higher feed costs. It is ramping up capacity in the hopes that it can bring in more live chickens from its farms across the border ahead of the ban.
Perhaps they can consider on, a controlled quantity supplies or even specific breeds, so that there will be some supplies coming to Singapore. This is something that we are actually hoping for.
Contingency plans are being put in place.
SFA has opened up recently in the past few years to produce fresh poultry from Australia, New Zealand and Thailand. Those are options, and I believe some of the suppliers and distributors are bringing them in as we speak.
Supermarket chain Dairy Farm Retail Group is also in talks with non-Malaysian suppliers to increase imports and offer alternatives to consumers. It's also urging consumers not to buy more than what they need.
With Malaysia's impending ban on the export of chickens, one alternative protein company says it has seen an increased interest in cell-cultivated chicken as a possible solution to this supply crunch. Good Meat grows its chickens from animal cells in labs. Now, to meet the anticipated growth and demand, the food tech firm says it's working closely with its local manufacturer to optimize processes and examine ways of increasing output. It also aims to significantly ramp up production capacity with a new dedicated facility that's set to be operational early next year.
Because of that growth of demand, what we have is the ability, right, to build facilities that will cater to economies of scale. And in doing so, basically, we are able to drive costs down. So what you have is essentially a nicer narrative of alternative protein prices dropping, especially as demand is meaningfully growing. So I think we expect that to unfold again, not in the immediate term, probably gradually over the next sort of a year, 2 years time horizon.